experienced peninsula, the left connection for the first this time to travelling out at Portugal. Welcome back live at trackside to the Algarve International Circuit just outside of Portugal in Portugal. We gear up for an all-important afternoon of track action on Prix Practice Friday. These are the sessions that count. The top 4 teams from Moto3 and Moto2 will move through into Q2 directly into the rest and fight down in Q1 for their opportunity to fall while the MotoGP is just the top 10. Over the course of our midday interval, as you can see, there's been a fair amount of rain and clouds have hit the region, but the circuit remains dry for the time being. The opening session of the day welcomes Dennis watching us back in style. Doubled up the double Portugal post finish 2020 and 2021 took over at the front with a gap of just half a second, covering the top 17. The whole host of spaces right the way through the field, banana like the Ryan Ariarte, and when we flick over onto the third and final phase of the Moto3 and the wonderful Segmentani, Peña Gorman, Hackington, and last night, everything up for the teams that have their say in Moto3 Practice this afternoon. Rather remarkable that we have a dry heat circuit this afternoon. I've got to say the rain did come down. MotoE Practice sessions have finished on. They were out to speak again. Some riders were caught out on wet time earlier on in that. So this session, as you can see, there's a lot of cloud in the air. We are in November, unfortunately, here at Portugal. So the high 30-degree mark is not really a thing we're going to experience this weekend. That's more for the world supervised maybe a couple of years ago in the height of August. But we're here nonetheless, and inclement weather conditions make for a very interesting track action coming up. Heading to York alongside myself, Nico Guard. They're all safety Dennis watching. Welcome back. Dennis being a menace to the opposition this morning.
Yeah, it certainly was. Good afternoon. Thanks there. Hello to everyone watching from Overall, wherever they're not clouds here in Portugal. It was fair, only a light drizzle through the side, so I don't think it affected the traction, but when the motor was starting to go out, it started to come together. It was a little bit wet, but quite tricky as well. Towards the end, that is around about 10. So now, where he left off, I didn't see clouds around it. One,
well, that's quite a funny generator. It's not helping us get there. I suppose not that short something, but he will be going up the Moto2. Yeah, and he will be alongside Mario Rosado graduating and not being
as you quite with entertainment, you probably got that over on your as well, but yeah, it's like for a start, it's something that was expected for the last few months, never had confirmation, and for a start, Barcelona when he was on the podium, but it's not guaranteed. The Moto win on the team major, most Barcelona managers managed the likes of Andrea Lozo famously. So yeah, quite a race, starting to circulate, but I think the last
nationalities. green for Moto3 Practice. You said the first pedal 15 minutes. I'm going to go the first 3 minutes of this session. Then he's going to be trying to get that banker in, that is for sure. Without too many wobbling furnishings, without too many misdirections. Running off, you don't want to encounter the other flag. All is kind of more dynamic in a what's going to be a much shorter session in terms of its life if those rain clouds do dump a load of fluid out on the track.
Yeah, there's not many dark clouds around the city that take away the fall on. There's plenty of sort of risk there, I'm sure that obviously people have up-to-date weather radars, so they'll know a lot more than the commentary box, but definitely want to get out there in these open laps, lap time, making sure call back the cannons into our few moments that go.
up here, there and everywhere. Get the lap time done on your own. That is exactly what you should be doing when the race is going. Great shot up over the edge of the turn lane, heading down towards that fantastic race going corner. Our man's got style.
Certainly has a great vantage point to watch from as well. I remember when we commentated the walk down here on the Saturday, you could see
David Almanza. Well, it's definitely the most silent rider in Moto3 up over that direction, isn't he? Right from that first podium, of course, this morning we were talking about that. Adrian Fernandez qualified in this riding teammate who was qualified last time out from his first place at Sepang, and that bumps up David Almanza into a first ever podium position, and he wants to live it on the road this time around to North Course. So a little bit nicer when you are there.
Yes, that's that. You don't want to celebrate the first podium. You might not be on the podium itself, but Almanza will certainly take it. Moto3 podium finish now. Almanza has been close on the occasion, and he's threatened, especially on a drive to the back of the
though as well. It's gone very dark. It's very dark. It's not clouds everywhere around here. At the moment it's 40 now. This is another great shot. I must admit, 40 now is one of the most spectacular circuits of all the tracks to come back to. It ain't a bad one in Europe. It's definitely got its ups and downs. And I'm talking about the topography of the land wide. I want to tell you. Through turn 9 we come. We have a little of the binary arcade here. The number 51's on a flying map. That's when you know top 8, but I reckon if he can hold that, that goes way further, that goes top 4, top 5, you can hold it. So there we are, I think we're picking up now, and we are going to track him right through turn 14, and it's all about the run through 15. Look how bumpy it is though, right the way through, on the power, straight away. Scott Ogden's going to get a nice bit of victory here. It does sound fairly early, I wonder who he are, cost himself a bit of time in the middle of all of that. Very hard to lost a lot of time in that final sector. Ogden moved up into the top 7 notes. So that's very good stuff from the Soul CIT Twin Power machine this weekend. Of course, now with Jeff Miller. If you are listening, get well.
Absolutely, yeah. I think the whole panic, fans around the world will continue to echo those thoughts. A massive love happy to report that he is now back in Switzerland all weekend. Anyway, signed up top 10. What we're talking about here on the side, definitely down that inside that top 10, a real sort of special performance from Scott. So yeah, just a little shout out heading back out there and inside that top 10 and yeah, basically one of his best career performances.
Really good ride, Scott Ogden, and that hasn't always been taken close by, but there has been a lot of fun. It's always been in terms of the point that Ogden's really come good last time out in Sepang and doing the team proud, doing Alan Bonnet's team. Very, very proud indeed. We're looking back at David Almanza, and so far so neat and tidy, but it's down to turn 8 where, of course, absolutely spectacular. His teammate was picking him up right on here. He's about to go C1 and he can hold that to the line. Adrian Fernandez will be looking to try and recover that lost podium from last time out. Goes to P2 at the moment, 16 minutes into his second, but yeah, real disappointment, I think. They knew straight away that perhaps things weren't all as they should be down there in Leopard, but Fernandez taking nothing away from his performance. It wasn't a performance enhancing lap or anything like that. He didn't aid him in any way. Homologated. Fernandez really real good pace over the course of the fly race, and he'll be looking to carry that right into this weekend, the final weekend next time out in Malaysia next weekend.
Yeah, Fernandez and Leopard, top of the competition, championship, accolades, not quite the championship. They are quite top of the monster, in a way, in that season, about 7 points over the entire season. I think that's a good battle, Parai, not 7 points, Fernandez. I feel on that from a second place back to the front, the air actions our new year, much closer to the for our field on one third, points in those two as the standard, and the main hotel is half their level of points, the way to be fourth back in that top five there, so the championship might be wrapped up, we of course haven't got the World Championship, Jose Antonio is the champion, Jose Antonio away there, we want to see him again well to the course,
Gorman with a great run coming through that final corner. He's definitely got the legs very hardly through there. Quite very hardly. He's struggling a little bit through there. That's the second time he's got a bit of time down there. But heavyweight area turn one very hardly. Definitely gets O'Gorman back. So there's plenty of it in the GP World Championship. And well, maybe giving us something pretty fiery in special next year. So we'll really double see around that third thing that we'll end up with. But never mind. O'Gorman 12. Very hardly turning low. Marco Morelli stepping up full time. Next year, 16th for him, then McCartney coming across the line 22nd, 1.2 off his slope down there in Moto3 Practice.
On Friday afternoon. Most people know the sports on the flyway tractor, 99% victory. Very well received. Down there in 20 seconds, 1.2 seconds off. Job so far from pretty much everyone. He's got a fine time. They're down in 20, down in P90. I think popped them earlier on as well. Next was 12th earlier on.
Last time out in Sepang, in everything, get well there, so they will not looking for a ride for 2026. Not Ogden goes into 8th place in front of lap 6 from Scotland for another personal best, running to the 47th now, just over 6% off of that top time set by Tyre Fluid Marco going down at 47.191. Algarve, winner here. 12 months to go. Final section goes away from me. So that's alright. Number 8. But then on the 6th of that, Malaysia. absolute fight was dynamite. But the flyway, very, very different kind of track that he wasn't looking as comfortable as we have perhaps become accustomed to.
Credit to the forward along where he's not put a home in the last three. He's not gone a run like that so far. So far, towards now, in terms of the lap anyway, ground last time out with Malaysia, but comments after the race, all he was about was, well, if you stand on the podium, so I think that's the level that he's been operating at so far in 2025, as you know, it's nice to have again back full time, an outstanding performance, Jadwal driving through 2026 as well. They've got on that third, what we find important, takes you to the top of the drop, especially by that top one.
Takes it a little bit by the market, but the N5 and the mentality is not on the podium, not winning, not happy, across the line, he's on the line. That's why not quite enough yet, doesn't have to go yet. A couple of places up for me, David Almanza is still out there at the moment. He wants to think one of the first. Actually, he's going out there and doing it all on his own as well. As we pick him up now, it's up that first section, so roll back to the right, we'll be going top of time 47191 is your current fastest lap of the session. Almanza's working his way all the way down to the bottom of this process, he'll right back up, and then it is that run to the line, which is just enough to get a little bit of a slip through. I've only come across this time there in that final section, but still moves up to 233, so he'll be very happy with that. Meanwhile, it's just about to come through the first half of this lap was a tenth and a half up, 2 tenths up, halfway round.
So that time what he was setting earlier on his last lap time, but what's a little bit of time to get to 33 now. 33 down to 90 race at the score at 10 11, and then next time turn 12 through there, and he did lose more time, but around about 3 tenths of a second, so here's the front there, and the front end there, and the moment there, there's front as well, riding going to be heading back out very shortly, P9, very safe, so this is going back to Ferrari Yard 43.76, back to Ferrari, down to a lot of the riders, the most of the moment of time, but going to find the time, so this is towards the lap,
You know, he's going to go flat there, right? Yeah, positive six-race rider. He's going to pick up another spot. He's still after picking off, though. Of course, he was landing earlier on in the second. They got him on the track up there, out there. I think Gladstone with the white clouds at the moment. They are very, very great heavy at the moment. They got the trees, they're great the whole thing. Almanza on the 47.0, that's the fastest lap of the weekend. We are getting down to almost 460. Of course, the lap record around here is 379, set by Jose Antonio Rueda last year. So we've got a little bit of time to go until we get there, but it is only Friday, of course, as well. And we have had far from optimal conditions at the moment. It's stage drive. Pontiac coming to the line. What's he got? 7, so that's Tissot bumped back another spot, and then we have got across the line as well behind him. I think I'm sure it's Barto, wasn't it? He doesn't improve, so second, but dislodged by David Almanza. Tissot coming through turn 14. This is looking a little bit better, but it's that pesky final sector that's getting into tension. Let's see what we get through here this time. Tissot 0.118 off at the moment. That was 20 seconds. He can hold it, but let's see what he does. Across the line, Tissot goes third. So look, left side has picked up all the way to the top side. Yeah, that's a better than I don't want to be but that's good.
time out, and then not whichever way you want to put it, across the line, before stopping qualified and to the next. I think a little bit of disappointment over in the late, but one back to the question
but not much time out, let's put it like that. So we are already clear that actually the practice success in last year at the same time, and also the counting practice on Saturday morning. So the times are good, because the conditions perhaps not so. Portugal was quickest this morning in a very, very strong comeback ride indeed. Now going to be a 16 behind the 72 of the Retardo, moves up to 4th place, so that's up from Dennis to Dennis, and he's going to be Dennis there, because look, all the riders coming out in pit lane. Luckily they're just so ahead, over on the right hand side, and don't really get onto the racing line too much. And then it's on his tail down anyway. Like I'm already on the side line, that side around. Okay, the top 14 riders who are moving straight to Q2. Our master for Retardo, Gilas, Podgy, Fernandez, Rosetta, Kelso, Piquera, Scarpe, Peroni, your top 10, they're going to be joined up. Things stand by Ogden, so Corbin, and Drury Arte. There's 7 minutes, just under still to go. It's all turn on the head of the game. Yeah, man, it's quite a way. Try and get out there, they're going to know more than the scores than they are the professionals, but it looks very dark. I don't know the riders. Outside the top 14 or landing around outside the top 10. Find the way out of it. We have done a couple of spots of rain on our top spot as well. So they're very fine at the moment, but the rain is in the air. As we take a look at the Toyota Tally, the number 18 coming out of 13, this is down towards 14. The Tally at the moment just a couple of places out from where it needs to be. 16th place at the moment. And just over a second under away from the top side. The top 15 covered by under a second. That's how close it is. The MotoGP at a circuit where almost all the riders know it really well. But Taddy's going for the line. It should put him top 14. We've got a lot of time. That's final second. But Taddy has to go again. And then less than 6 minutes to get a strong enough lap time to put him directly into the pole battle. Yeah, you're right. There's nothing in that final bit. There's 3 laps to take it where a lot of time. We can now see 4 spots of rain on our common window. The rain starts to come down a little bit heavy to watch from our vantage point. The background there is a little bit less clear. But obviously, when riding starts to rain now, you can try that top 40. So you're already arcing there as well. Not just yet to ride from there we are. 5 minutes and there is white clock. Red clock, white flag, sorry. Sign that there is rain in the sunshine in a minute, won't you? Well, I don't think we're going to do either with the weather forecast. So, Sodders is 11th at the moment. That's good enough for the number 19. Rider Arte, the rider of the CMS Classic on the time and tell, oh, that's really heavy rain now over in turn 3. And I'd be very surprised. Okay, it might be hold your breath time, but I'd be surprised if that is exactly only the amount of rain we get. It now probably means we are going to have a bit of a period of rain. You think Joel Espan was absolutely furious. But his teammate there, that Valentin Peroni up ahead, Joel Espan is only a replacement rider on the bike. Put it in for Jacob Wilson. Valentin Peroni is a full-time rider, so Joel Espan picking his bike. Turn 13 wet online there, and that might just be it, you know. You can see in the background all the mountains got a load of cloud on top. The white flag with the red cross is being away practically over in that margin position as well at turn 13, and Joel Espan well, they have to say that being down in P23 is going to make it angry. We are going to have a very premature end here to Moto3 Practice in terms of order. Each session will continue to kick on by, unfortunately the lap run will not continue to kick on down. I reckon that is all. So here, horsepower for Moto3 Practice. Right now, those through our coffee book window as well as the start finish. So that is all perfect. Trying to that top 14, I was going to say, I wouldn't go to fire, I left it that late, ready to there. very disappointed. Elliot today as well has been very, very close to reaching around the call up the cannon, of course, he crashed early on today in FP1, but that's a real disaster. Real sour end really to our afternoon as well, because we'd like a last minute boost out for premises. So got on to no problems now. Nick Lane is very happy with that 11th place, and he comes in and that obviously found everything like the power of the rider, the quick start is already enjoyed especially but down as well. How lucky rider we are, say what we are. By a tenth of a second, Nicola Carraro is the rider who doesn't come through. And Nicola Carraro, that was a pat or a slap on the head. Carraro not happy. All round the player par, they got the riders out there, they got the backside back, and they are picking up the reward for it now.
Yeah, so the other one on Friday over in Australia, came down to Lugano as well. Yeah, lucky round, coming out Monday, on a Friday, which is standard, so managed to get a lap time, now wet and never got there, starting to fall down. Yeah, Alex forward, back to Moto2, all of those riders in people, having a look at the ground in the sky ahead of their section, just over 10 minutes before the Moto2 riders head out. It's on wet tyres, and today, guys, the Moto2 and the course, the Moto3 Practice riders, that is close reaching up for them. They'll be back out there next tomorrow morning and come to ourselves up here in Seoul. Not maybe not there in the Seoul box, but that's always a bonus. Unfortunately, it's my lunch break after this one, so it looks like I'm going to have to run back to the next sector and don a jacket. So I take it wet and warm here. That's fine. Probably I'll just warm my own. Straight down into the box. He'll be happy with that. Straight through as well. So we'll take the quarter off of what he's done. That's what they were doing. But stimulation with a back knee then. Probably the luckiest one of them all. If you get pushed down to his lane. He left his lane. But was just in time. But just say, looking that you can also take time to spend the asphalt. Recognise that they need the lap time. The clouds are rolling in. Already out here, and that is very, very interesting. Coming up in a few moments' time. Moto2 face the same situation as top 14 in Moto2 into directly everyone else going through to the Q1 shootout, and really conditions like this. Let's see if that is the last of the rain. I'm not so sure though, we'll have to wait and see. Adrian Fernandez completes top 5, and he'll be looking to try and match his teammates going into Saturday. Try and get that podium back, which was had that's the way from last month. Yeah, 300 top 5, and then they have the Honda in that top 6. Telstar looking strong today, and of course, 4% of the riders in that final 5 down there. Anyway, especially that final corner, fairly special memories of them early on, and then
she's trying for a start, so looking to try and match Sepang successes. Just the Western Wars out there, that's the number 22. David Almanza, the front pairing there, just picking up a full load of rain spots. Not quite supported the conditions later on in the weekend. Perhaps we'll get near home here, so you're away to lap record. But for the time being, David Almanza is off P1 for the number 22. Just there for a start with Tino Foggia and Fernando. Two of them selected race changes. Kelso and Colpagaras looking to wrap up during the title fight. Nate Carpay strengthened that top 5 as well by out-9 Livingston Road back in the top 10. Austin Denise, Hector Gorman and Brian Ariarty, 3 of our replacement riders right there inside. Tomorrow straight away from MotoGP Practice. Hard luck for Nicola Clara and Matteo Bettari, left it late, right by Marco Ferrari. We just finished the headline in that going to P1 and into the office. Brandon out.